So I would like to briefly just touch on the isolation of van life. A lot of people who try and sell this lifestyle, who do it voluntarily, sell it as freedom. You can do what you want. You can go anywhere. You can explore the moon. You can take sweet selfies waking up in front of a lake. But it's not like that a lot of the times. Most of my time when I'm not at work is spent in places like this, business parks, because they're strictly 9 to 5 most of the time. They're empty on weekends. They are really good places to park. With my box truck looking the way it is, I can blend in really easily and no one really cares. And the stealth factor matters to a degree. But it's kind of like anxiety, how you think everyone is worried about you or looking at you or thinking about you. Most people are too focused on themselves to care about you. That's just human nature. We are selfish, and that's not a bad thing. That's how we stayed alive and survived as a species. Most people only care about you if you are a threat to them, or you're doing something wrong, or bothering them. But most of the time, it's just you chilling with your, hopefully you have a dog, or a partner, or a book, even a good book. But because you do spend so much time in these places, there's the downside of you just feel really left out of the world, and you feel apart from everything, and that can be really bad, especially if you don't have a support network, especially if you're traveling a lot, if you're moving around, you don't have a lot of people. I am an introvert. I like my alone time, but even just a small interaction of people at work is necessary for me. Having some stability of a job, and thankfully they're super cool. I'm very fortunate that the people at my work, I have an entire loading bay that they don't use that I can park my box truck in, which is awesome. And not that this thing needs a loading bay, but just it makes it really easy, and it's just nice to have. And they're all super cool. They understand that I have a dog in my living situation. And that's another thing too, is stigma. Whether you're traveling or just trying to survive like I am, the stigma of you're not quite homeless, but you're houseless, and you're some people can be weird about it. I've had not that I should be dating, but I've been on dating apps and we've been talking, and as soon as I mentioned the van, they're like ghosted, gone. And when I first started doing this, even at work, I was really hesitant to mention that's where I live. People are like, what are you doing for this weekend? Hanging out in parking lots, which is most of what I do. And I know I'm kind of the exception, where a lot more people have friend groups or things to do. And it's not for lack of things to do. There are things to do when you live like this. I could go on a hike, I could go visit people, but right now we're just kind of staying put. We're trying to save money because, unfortunately, as much as I love my box truck, it is not exactly a Prius on gas. It is super expensive. So we try and drive as little as possible unless we actually have a destination in mind. But I think it's really important to try and do things that make you feel normal or connected, whether it's a job or volunteering, or if you're in a place for a very short amount of time, just do a drop-in class. It's no man is an island. Humans are social creatures. Even though I'm a massive introvert, you need human connection. You need people. You need just to speak. I've gone days without speaking, and it absolutely affects my mental health poorly, and the weather, of course, too. It was raining for the past 24 hours. Even though I have movies and stuff loaded up, I had electricity, I could charge my phone. You go a little stir crazy. So just get out and try and do some stuff and connect, because it's so easy to just get stuck in this thing, and lose touch with that we are part of a community, a human race, not to get too grandiose, but just don't forget and don't lose your value, and don't think I'm less than a person because I'm living this way, especially, like I said, when you're forced to, like I am. It took a real toll on my mental health and my self-esteem, saying I'm a 41-year-old man who lives in a fucking truck that could break down at any time. So I hope this helped. I hope this was a bit of pep talk and just a bit of a reality. It's not gloom and doom. There are awesome perks to this lifestyle, but there are realities of it that some other YouTubers might not talk about.